Be the right club. Be the right club today. Yes!
Johnny, that's better than most. How about in? That is better than most. Better than most!
Expect anything different?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the No Laying Up podcast, the No Laying Up live show. If you are watching this on YouTube, greetings from TC's garage. All the boys are together here for the first time. I was thinking about this on the plane today, guys. I don't know the last time Neil, what was the last time we recorded in person together?
I think Pebble last year.
That's probably right. Solly got out of the house, walked down the street here to TC's. Great to see you.
Got hit with the norovirus. I've been building up all week to be able to take that first high noon sip, and I just took it, and it did not come back up. We're already winning on the night.
And of course, the host with the most, TC. Greetings, hi, hello, aloha.
Aloha
Means hello and goodbye.
The host with the most waffles.
That's true. We're going to get to that shortly. As people know, the No Laying Up live shows presented by our friends at High Noon. No matter the forecast, live like the sun's always out. That's how the boys were feeling today in Jack's Beach. The sun was always out. It was. The sun's always out with High Noon hard seltzer made with real spirits and real juice. Text some friends, get the plans going, pick up a pack on the way. High Noon is 100 calories with no added sugar. Available in vodka seltzer and also tequila seltzer. What do we got tonight? Vodka? We got pineapple. Pineapple vodka tonight.
Watermelon.
That's right. Me and TC are
Big can. I got one big can in there.
Crisp, delicious flavors for every occasion under the sun. Visit highnoonspirits.com to find a pack near you. High Noon, sun's up.
Look at Cody with the graphics.
I know. Cody looks great. Cody behind the scenes, Jordan behind the scenes. Aloha to you guys as well.
And mahalo.
And mahalo for being here. Good to be here, guys. Solly, good to see you, man.
Yeah.
I know you're the times of you getting out of the house are few and far between.
I got a statement here, if I may say. This is from Jacksonville Beach, Florida, January 4th, 2024. The following statement was released today. By
it's the 5th.
By Chris Solomon through his personal attorney and business manager, Mark Steinberg of Excel Sports, located in New York, in response to questions about his future career plans. I'm back.
There we go. Everybody's back. Good to be in Jack's, guys. Good to meet. I hadn't met your son, Neil. Unbelievable.
Yeah, little Pete's down here.
Pedro.
My wife Carson. Mr. Small's doing well. We put the women and children to bed. You know, the boys had to make some content today.
Sorry, guys.
We got
to chop it up.
It's the franchise's birthday.
It is.
She had a little pizza party for him out back. 71. Happy birthday to the big guy.
I love you, Dad.
It was Peg and the franchise's 44th wedding anniversary.
Unbelievable.
3 days ago. It's my wife's birthday in 2 days. Big week.
Wow.
Here at Jack's.
Big weekend. And also
and Schuster always pays his debts. I'm so fucking proud of you, TC. Tell him what you did yesterday.
I spent 15 hours in a Waffle House.
Why was it only 15 and not 25?
Because I ate 10 waffles.
Yes, you did.
I got there.
But it was, sorry, real quick.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be 24 just to back all the way up.
Yeah.
This is a like debt from our old betting segment. It was whoever finished last had to spend 24 hours in a Waffle House. TC bet another hour. Was it on the Open Championship?
Yes.
Last year, saying that Tommy Fleetwood was going to win.
Do it again.
Also
I love you,
that.
Tommy.
So it became a 25-hour bet, but 1 hour got knocked off with each waffle that he ate.
Yes.
So I think that sets the table.
Yeah. So I woke up. Actually, Lauren Coughlin and her lovely husband John,
Lovely man.
came through. They were on their way down to Jupiter, so they rolled through on Friday night, and I decided my strategy was like, don't think about this, don't build it up in your head, just show up and like embrace it, right? So I cooked a big steak dinner on Friday night, and we drank way too much bourbon.
Oh, that was
and
Which maybe waffles are a good thing to soak that up.
you know, so I woke up. I was gonna get there at 5. I slept in a little bit. I got there at 6:04. I didn't realize that the Waffle House in Jack's Beach,
Did you stay
because
till
of the
10:04?
beach bars. Yeah, I did.
Okay.
No, 9:04.
Or 9:04.
Because of the beach bars,
which is fitting. Also,
they
in
go
Duval.
they go to a takeout, carry out window only.
Really?
From 11:30
I don't know if I
p.m.
like that.
Just for
until
everybody's
6
safety.
a.m.
Oh, that's
because
a
it
great
gets
idea.
So
Yeah.
especially on a Saturday
Well, I
night.
guess they're
See
still
those
open.
videos of
On a
people
Friday
throwing
night,
each other over the
Saturday night.
counters?
Well,
Yeah.
unfortunately, yeah. Thanks, Elon.
So I showed up at 6:04. I took the corner booth. It was like, it's a great booth. It was so cold in this little corner. And I said to the lady, I like announced my intentions right away.
Hear ye,
You know
hear
who the
ye.
fuck this is? It's TC.
I was like, hey, I'm
Ringing
rolling.
a bell.
I was like, I'm gonna be with you guys for the next, 15 to 20 hours. Okay. And
right here.
I got some hash browns scattered, smothered, covered, and chunked, just to coat the stomach a little bit. I got some sunny side egg, some sunny side up eggs, and I got my first waffle, and I was kind of off and running. This was probably my second or third, and some coffee and a lemonade, because I was like, all right, I'm gonna start getting things going a little bit here. And then Lauren and John came, and then they stayed for probably an hour and a half. I had visitors from like 7:30 until 7:30 a.m. until about 8:30 p.m. And the worst part was like the third and fourth waffles, where it's 11 a. It's 10 a.m., 11 a.m. and I was eating the waffles cold, no syrup, no butter. I was eating the waffles cold.
Or throwing like a Joey Chestnut, dipping them in the lemonade.
I talked about that. Like John and I had a long conversation about that, and then I had a bunch of people roll through, friends, colleagues, just
Advisors.
just all sorts of luminaries in the community.
Mentees.
Yeah,
You were saying
the
people were
party doctor.
honking as they were driving by.
Yeah, a couple people honked.
Do you have any randos show up, or anybody come in just randomly like, holy shit, that's TC? Like they didn't know you were there?
No, or they didn't come up and
They may have
say
just
it.
been letting
I
him
didn't
do
want
his
to
thing.
interrupt.
So
Oh, they were taking a picture though.
So a lot of the people that like the late shift people, they left at like 7 or 8 a.m. and then next shift comes in, and then another shift came in about 2 or 3 p.m. So I had Tiffany, Linda, Jill, and then starting about 7 or 8 p.m. the late shift started coming back in, and they were like, holy shit, you're still here. So then at 11 a.m. this guy Paul rolls in, and he's doing a Waffle House. He lost his fantasy league, so he was doing a Waffle House thing. And I took a lot of
Was he
inspiration.
a year and a half late doing his as well, or is it
No,
just lose?
no, like his whole league came in and like gave him shit. Like, and but he helped me through it, man. It was so nice having his Wall Street Journal in there.
Where did he sit like near you?
We were like 2 booths away from each other, and then he was doing 3 at a time. So he would do 3
Waffles.
and then wait for 3, and then wait for 3 hours, and then do 3 and then wait for 3 hours.
Can you imagine the just rarity, the peace of sitting and having 15 hours, 18 hours to just read the whole paper? Truly, like I thought
I was going to get a bunch of work done,
thing.
and then I had people there party doctor brought me a bunch of sake.
Well, let me ask you a question. What the staff were they like? Oh, we got another one. Like when
No,
you
they
told
said
them,
it was the first one they've had in a long time.
really?
Yeah, and like the lady, yeah, that was Paul. Right there.
Shout out to Paul.
And the lady, Tiffany was like, "Hey, like you're gonna have to move." I was like, "I'll do whatever you want me to do. Like I'm in your space here."
First of all, I'm sorry.
And then sure enough, like I had so many people roll through that they probably made $300 or $400 off that one booth.
Did you keep
People
the
helping
bill? You need to
people.
frame the bill.
Should have.
I was on like 5 different tabs.
Yeah, you gotta close them out.
So I tipped I probably spent $200 to $300 on gratuities for the day. I took good care of the folks inside.
Company bill or personal?
No, personal.
Bill? Okay,
personal.
So
I was.
You could have fudged it. Yeah.
I think at one point I was trying to get him into like quarters, because they're in like little slices. I got to the point where I had to, like, I was trying to eat one of those every 30 minutes, and they were cold. And the colder it gets, the soggier and just shittier it gets. And I just realized Paul helped me realize, he's like, dude, you got to eat them when they're hot.
I was worried about this segment coming off the sickness I've had. This is not sitting great with me right now, guys.
And
I'm
then
not
you
gonna
had
lie.
Paul in there. That's
and then
awesome.
Paul started eating bacon, and he was like, I'm telling you, the salt cuts through, like the chemistry of your stomach gets better. So actually about 2 or 3 p.m. I kind of got
Paul seems like an enlightened
a
cat.
cool wave. Yeah.
Paul needs to play some better fantasy. Sounds like
Yeah.
you've done this before.
But Paul was under the gun because he was like 11 a.m.
Oh,
until
yeah.
he had to get out of there at 11:30
Yeah.
p.m. because it was going to close, or he was going to have to
Whoa.
hang out outside. I didn't
Shot
go
clock's
outside
about to go
once. I drank a bunch of coffee in the morning. I started drinking some decaf coffee just to keep the system going. What else? A fire started in the trash can outside. Somebody put a cigarette in the trash can outside and
Oh.
that caught on fire.
Hate that.
Yeah, but I had 9 and 10. 9 and 10 were at like 8:30. Like 9 was at 7:30, and then 10 was at like 8:45. And then I walked out at 9:04. I got home at 9:10, and I took a couple NyQuil and went to bed. And I've been. My system's been catching up today.
Yeah, I got in. I came over
awful.
here after our flight, and TC just didn't seem right.
Remember that video of Riggs leaving Pinehurst? You should have done one of those leaving the Waffle House. That would have been good.
They gave me a hat. there was a couple in there that had it was their first time in a Waffle House, and like the people behind the counter were like explaining, they're like, oh yeah, those guys lost their fantasy league. So, like they're over there like being over, and they're like, oh, like these waffles are delicious. I was like, shut the fuck up. I never want another waffle.
Oh
So,
my gosh.
I was legitimately celebrating getting 8 grilled nuggets down last night. That was the first meal I'd had in 3 days. And TC is working on
TC,
Waffle
I'll be
9.
honest, man. I didn't think you were ever going to do it. I'm proud of you. Now, Deej, you owe us a lefty round of golf. Still.
Yeah, I'll knock that out.
I still got to get my FedEx Cup merch. I thought someone was going to get it for me. I guess I have to order it for myself.
No, I think you just
So,
get. Why don't you pick out whatever you like?
Yeah, I'll go pick it out.
And Jordan on our team, she stopped by, hung out with me for an hour and a half, 2 hours. She was like, your attitude is so good. Like you're smiling right through this. I was like, it's actually been really fun. So
Hideki Matsuyama is your winner at the Sentry. It is his 11th PGA Tour win. This is a fun stat they put up on the broadcast, 12th player to win both Hawaii events. So I'll throw it to you. Hideki Matsuyama, 11-time PGA Tour winner.
Looks
More
like
of the same.
It's gonna be a big year. I think
Yeah.
it's gonna be a big year. I was impressed with him, impressed with Morikawa as well. The Sentry. I will ride for the Sentry. I freaking love this tournament. Maybe it was having some actual true time off, both myself and the actual golf world. I was absolutely thrilled when PGA Tour Live came on ESPN Plus on Thursday and had a great time watching. Hideki just freaking lights out, man. I think the slower greens help him a lot on this golf course. I don't know what his actual track record is here, but he's not the best putter. I've ridden him really, really hard over the years for never changing his bad putting fundamentals and wasting not wasting, but like limiting a career that should be even better than it is based on how good he hits the ball. And
Let me ask you on that. 11 wins. What do you like? Where's he mentally for you? Where should he?
11 PGA Tour.
PGA
wins.
Tour
He's got a
wins.
lot of.
he's played PGA Tour since what? 20
like 13.
That's what I was gonna guess. So that's
that.
a win a year. Like
Yeah.
I think he's better than that. I think he's more talented than that. And I don't know. Maybe this is the year he figures it out and steps on it. But
It seems like he's winning at a higher clip now than maybe he was 5 years ago, though.
I think he just kind of ebbs and flows. It's like he's kind of one of those guys that like I don't know who else would be in this camp. Morikawa, honestly, you could put in this camp to an extent where it's like when they play well, it's like, oh yeah, of course, it's that guy. When they don't play well, like you're never really scrolling the leaderboard, looking for what they're doing. They can kind of suffer in anonymity when they don't have it. And it always feels arbitrary when he wins, but it shouldn't. Neil, am I on anything there?
No, I thought it was vintage stuff from Hideki today. Just one-handed follow-throughs, ball going right down the middle of the fairway. I'm still impressed that he without fail, he matches those Asics to his shirt color.
It's like God, who was it? Digger Phelps with the highlighter?
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm like, man, so you're just packing that many shoes? Like, I guess they're sending it to him, but
it's kind of like the high noon.
It's easy for him on Sundays. It's always yellow. I mean, the fits continue to be
sun's out, baby.
Not great, but he's just, you can't deny the talent. And so when, like you said, Deej, when he does win, you're not surprised by it, but we probably should be asking more like why, when the weeks that he's just disappears, becomes the forgotten man, we don't really ask why either.
He didn't win at all in 2018, 2019, or 2020.
Yeah.
He won the Masters and the Zozo in 21. He won the Sony in 22. Didn't win in 23, and then he won twice last year. So
he would have won the Players in 2020, of course.
That's true.
He had
63 in the first round
as well. He's just he's a weird golfer, man. Incredible short game, chipping game, but just I've seen videos of him putting with like normal technique that looks awesome. And for whatever reason, I think he worked with Skip Kendall, at some point on his putting. And for whatever reason, he went back to his hands really low thing that is never really worked for him.
Bouncing it
in long
before
stretches.
before he takes it
In
back.
short stretches, it will work. Like kind of like Morikawa. Like I don't know what to project for him just because I do think he's still limited with his putter, but fuck, that was impressive. 35 under par.
To your point about Sentry and just
That's
Kapalua,
almost half the holes, by the way. Just real quick, 35 under
yeah,
par.
that's a lot. But I don't know. We probably talk out of both sides of our mouth on this, but I'm okay with that at Sentry.
Well, we can talk about
because I think it's the best example of venues do matter.
Yeah,
and it's just
totally.
fun to watch on TV
100%,
this
yeah.
time of year. Maybe I'm getting old and I'm nostalgic, but there's a little bit of it's like a New Year's tradition, kind of like, I'll turn the page. And I love seeing Molokai. Shout out to Father
man.
Damien. Like, it's just good stuff.
You gotta have seasons, man. You gotta have a rhythm to the year, otherwise time doesn't pass. You need it.
I do think that when you flip it on NBC, well, we did the Golf Channel to NBC. We did ESPN Plus to Golf Channel to NBC, back to Golf Channel today
That was sick.
to watch it. I do feel like 50% of the shots I see are just straight down camera angles where I can't even see the guy's head, and it's just like, a zoomed in shot of a green with no background at all. And like, do we need all these high towers?
Well,
I
they
think-
do a good job down the stretch though. Like that, once they get to 17,
Once they get to 16, 17, it's
but then the problem is the last
11
few
and
years,
12, they get good.
someone's running away with it. So those
Yeah.
holes, you're almost like tuned out because it's like, the tournament's kind of over. Like no one's going backwards here unless Morikawa flubs a chip and on 18. That was sick a couple years ago.
You were
Morikawa,
saying-
God, I was feeling pretty good on my. If you listen to our 2025 winners draft, I of course picked Collin Morikawa at the Sentry. I thought I was going to be able to retire on the interest from this first week, but we'll take it. Week 1, second place. That's what did we say? 2 points.
2 points.
It's all he
For-
had
for a top
Matsuyama on
5,
his
yeah.
team for the season long, so he's got 1 point. Who's got next week at Sony?
I got Russell Henley.
Russell
next week.
Henley. All right.
Okay.
On the cameras thing, that place is so up and down and so hilly that like I'm thinking of like number 15 is like that tower is like so tall just because that green's pushed up so much. And so like even where Matsuyama was chipping from and where Dietrich was chipping from kind of down short right, like that difference between that's almost here and then the green's here and then the tower has to be way the hell up here if they're going to shoot
Yeah, no,
anybody
I get
there.
it.
So it kind of, but to your point, it's like
Just give us some more handhelds.
handhelds would be great, but then it's also like that could be a fucking fantasy football punishment. It's
Oh
like go
my
walk
God.
around with this camera.
It's so hard to get from 18 green up to 17, like
Yeah.
16 green is like, I mean, you're just baking in the sun out there too. Like it's a hard place to get the product.
Speaking of fantasy football punishments, did I tell you guys about this one? Some of the cart guys at Ponte Vedra,
Mm-mm.
their last place punishment, the loser has to ride a Greyhound bus
Oh,
from
this is sweet. Yes, I've heard
Jacksonville
this
to
one.
Cleveland and then back to Jacksonville.
And
Oh my
do they
God.
have to go full analog?
I don't
Or
know.
they can't have their phone.
I don't know.
Raw dog it.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
no.
They can only have like books. Like that's this other buddy of mine has that league where it's like
They do
same
that
idea.
too?
Yes, but you can't have a
I
digital
mean, that would
device.
be that'd be 24 hours each way.
And I think it was like no fiction either. Like it has to be like nonfiction.
You gotta
book.
learn. You gotta
Like,
learn from this.
Yeah, you gotta
Can
read.
you
like, a
imagine having to like
textbook.
take days off work so you can
Honey,
Sick.
I'm really sorry about leaving you with the kids, but
gotta hop on this bus.
gotta
You
go
drive, and also I
Cleveland.
need you to drive me to the bus station. I don't really want to leave my car there.
I gotta go to the land.
Yeah,
So I might have to get
Believe
whoever
land.
the loser was this year, and I'll get them on the trap
Yeah.
draw or something to talk about that experience.
I always liked. I forget, maybe Graham, a mutual friend of ours, Graham. I think his league. You had to sit in the Atlanta smokers lounge at the Atlanta airport before
For like a couple hours,
For like
right?
a couple hours,
Give me cough.
like during a layover. I think
I'm,
that
I'm
was
serious.
that
I'm
was-
already lingering on the edge. We gotta not do this today.
Oh man. Anyways, good observation from Cody on the putter here too. The center shafted putter, new one for Hideki. Watch this space, might be a little trend on the.
Those
on
are
the
hot in
PGA
the
Tour.
streets right now.
Honestly,
Exactly.
didn't pay attention to that.
Exactly.
You said it looked pretty good on PGA Tour Studios too.
You were saying that.
or-
It's- yeah.
I tuned in on Thursday to kind of kick off the year, and it was like it was humming, man. It just felt like less interruptions. The graphics looked a little bit better. Just looked like less of a high school graphic arts project out there, and more of a real TV product. And it was for me, it felt noticeable. I don't know if it was just because I was excited to watch Kapalua or not, but I was impressed by PJ
Oh, yeah,
PJ Tour Live.
That was new studios,
It
man.
know.
must be.
You know?
Hey, speaking of interruptions, you guys mind if I interrupt and
Hit 'em
and
with
pay
it.
some bills from our friends at Titleist. We got some news, guys. It is white box. I'm sorry, white box season is coming to an end. No more white box season. Of course, everybody loves seeing the white boxes. Got the prototypes out there. What is it?
Jeez,
What
I
is
keep
it?
mine right up there.
There you have it.
The vault.
If you don't know what that means, let me say it another way. The new 2025 Pro V1 and Pro V1X are almost here. We have touched on the immediate success of the new V and X models since arriving on tour last fall, including multiple wins and over 40 players who made the change in a matter of weeks. Not a small deal, by the way, guys, just putting a new golf ball into play. That's very impressive. And that conversion rolled on this week with Ludwig, Willie Z, and Wyndham all teeing up a 2025 Pro V1X golf ball for the first time in PGA Tour competition. I've officially made the change. I need some snow to thaw, but I'll be ready to go with the Pro V1X.
God, run the banner across the bottom, Cody. DJ Pye made the transition.
That's right. As soon as I've got, I just need some grass on the greens.
Oh, you could
get the ice out of there.
transition indoors
In the
play this
simulator.
week.
That's true. That's a good point. And we're going to play this week, so I'm looking forward to that. Solly, any news with the new Pro V1?
Put it in play for the first time. Hadn't touched the club in 2 months. Legitimately thought if I broke 80, it'd be a great time. Shot a 69 with it. Afterwards, I was texting with one of the Titleist guys, and he's like, "Yeah, you're really gonna like some of the changes." Like, I don't even know what the changes were. I've been so off the grid. He's like, something about a little bit more spin. I don't have the technical stuff in front of me. And I was like, looking back on it, I was like, yeah, all my chips really actually checked up a lot more. And it's still the softer feel that I love. Like, it's Pro V1X is going to spin more. I don't need a spinny ball, but like I could use a little bit more spin, a little more height coming in with it, and all my wedges were landing at all the right. Holy crap! Maybe the 2025 ball really is that good, because I cannot believe I broke 70, and the ultimate low expectations round, but that was my first round for the 2025 ball.
Love hearing it. You know what I really like? We all, if you don't listen to our sister podcast, The Trap Draw, we did our goals podcast recently. Saw a couple of our goals, ball speed related. Maybe new golf ball. Maybe we'll just do it for us. So that's got to be worth. Yeah, that might be worth a couple miles an hour. Anyways, January 25th, 25. Get ready. More information on the 2025 Pro V1 and Pro V1X is coming very soon. Solly, I want to throw it back to you. You were calling for the ball on this. You said, guys, we got a lot of we talk a lot of shit. Let's talk a little positivity. Here's what we like about Kapalua.
Look at that Norfolk Island pine that Cody put on the
so
graphics.
good.
We always are getting a ton of questions about
bad guy.
Our golf course takes, right? And what we like out of a golf course. We hate every golf course, of course, because never
Except
like
Visby.
And I want to go
in Scotland.
And all of Scotland.
In Australia.
I wanted to just put it out. And if you're watching the live version, I'm going to give you a list of 5 things that you can print out and take for why I think Kapalua makes for a fun, entertaining watch. Now, look, is it a massive birdie fest? Of course. Here's why I think still it works for this place. One, the lack of stock shots. You're going to get so many uneven lies, so many wind elements, so many slope elements that come with where balls are landing that you're forced to kind of be creative. Just going back, even the 18th hole, the widest fairway on the PGA Tour, probably you have to hit the right shot. Guys are trying to sling a ball. They were talking earlier in the telecast about guys trying to hit higher on the face for lower spin to make sure it lands the right way. Do you catch the speed slots? That's the kind of stuff that's required on a lot of spots. You think of there's several other holes, where if the wind is a certain direction, you're going to need to play a cut up against it to avoid a certain bunker and avoid falling into the rough on a certain side because of
I think
the
number
slopes.
6, right after the par 5, the big banking to the right one where you're
12,
trying to force it left, otherwise you get trapped on that right side, and then you're chipping downhill and you can't hold the green.
15, kind of the same way. There's just so many elements to think about, and the math has to all work out. And I remember Tony Finau was playing 17. It was 190. He reached for 8 iron on 17. I was just like, dude, how do you figure this number out? And he got it wrong, but it's fun to watch pros kind of struggle with those elements. So that is something that's interesting.
Big Tone swing looks weird, by the way. We can talk about that later.
It's a fast Furyk. I love it. If it's 35 under at Sony next week, it's not the route to getting there is not nearly as entertaining as Kapalua. That's kind of my take on that.
Well said.
So the second thing I'll say is the golf course is obviously not difficult, but it is challenging. They don't just hand you birdies, right? You have to execute the shots. If you watch the 15th hole, the par 5, especially where the pin was on, I don't know my days of the week. I think it was when it was
where it was on the green,
just below the ridge,
front right.
Yeah, was it Thursday? Whatever it was. I think
Friday,
it was.
Maybe. Yeah.
Anyways, you have to hit the wind whipping off the left. You have to hit either a hold up draw or a riding fade that if you get 1 yard right of that pin, it goes down the slope to the grainiest stuff on the golf course, pitching straight up it. And if you carry it too far, you're pitching down a slope that you can't stop the ball off. You still have to execute the shots. And the dividing line on those shots can be really tight. And like, yeah, it's a race for birdie or par, and there's a shitload of birdies, but it's not like it does not turn into, as John Robb would say, a piece of shit fucking putting contest. Like some of these early season shootout events, like American Express is the one he said that about, are just putting contests.
Yep.
This is still a ball striking test. And yeah, if you miss, you're not going to make a lot of bogeys, but it's still a test. It's still a challenge in there. So is that making sense so far?
Of course.
Yeah, it's
absolutely.
almost like turns into a Stableford. Like,
Yeah.
where you're like, yo,
Go.
if you're not making birdies.
Maybe they should do Stableford for the
That's
first.
interesting.
That's kind of
very
what it's turned
interesting.
into.
That's
Where it's
sick.
like, yo, if
Yeah,
you're,
but
if
like,
you're
amp up the
68, it's
volume-
like even par,
Yeah.
you know?
Like amp up the volatility.
See,
Tuck
that's
the
a
pins
great
more.
idea.
It is.
I mean, it'd be a perfect course for it, right?
You know what? I had more.
We're going to do it in 10 years. Just like the Tour
They
Championship.
might do that at the
Well,
Tour Championship this year. or
Once
something.
we move to a full simulator tour, we're going to be that idea is on the table. I had more people reach out to me. I threw this out mostly as a joke on the happy hour. I was like, oh, it'd be kind of sick. Like, it's winners only. Like, throw the winners from the other tours in there. Throw 10 Corn Ferry Tour guy winners and champion. I had like 10 people reach out. Like, that'd be
Great
sick.
idea.
That'd be rad. We
You
should
go
do
in and
that.
introduce those
I'm
people.
like, oh, actually, it would be kind of cool. Anyways,
Third one is shot value. I kind of stepped on a little bit of this with explaining that last one, but I mean, I when I think of this one, I think of the 8th hole, the par 3, big canyon drop up there, but a green that's
I
kind of.
don't ever want to hit that shot.
It's a great
So
hole.
hard.
There's 2 ridges to the green, and like the front right of the green is closer than the front left of the green. Like that's kind of how it shapes, promoting like a draw. And if you hit it too far on the right, JT hit it up there, I think on Thursday, where the pin was up there on the top. Like from that top bunker, you can't stop the ball on the top ridge. And there's so many spots you get in where you get to a spot where you're not going to be able to stop it, and you're going to pay the price of a miss. Again, too many of the birdie fests end up where a good shot and an average shot end up in the same general area, and it ends up not being a very good separating factor. And that this course has shot value. I mean, I could go shot by shot on not literally every shot, but for most of the holes have really, really, really good shot value. Some of the tee shots don't necessarily, but we'll get to that in 0.5, which I think can be a good thing. But
And just real quick on that, like it all builds on itself with the tee shots, right? Like
Totally.
if you're not on the correct side of the fairway, then all of a sudden it's a lot harder to, hit the right shot into the green, and it gets
that happened on 6.
Exactly.
Some today where that pin was. If you miss over in that rough and the way the slopes work around the greens, nobody could stop it on that upper left tier. So there's a lot, and there's just like I guess I should have put this on there. There's mystery about what's going to happen when the ball's on the ground and some of
Did you
this
see
stuff.
Which
the
we'll
two
get to
balls
that
hit?
because I've got a
Yeah.
rebuttal on that front.
Okay,
Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say the conditioning.
the
Like
conditioning
it
was not good.
it was lush as shit, and like that makes this course less interesting when
Totally
the
does.
ball
Yeah.
when
I agree.
like I know they can't get the greens going that fast because they worry about the wind and all that. I get that, but like
The greens can be slow,
Xander
though.
and all these guys, yeah, I'm fine
Like,
with
that's
slow
fine.
greens.
That's
Point
Yeah.
4. It's coming
but
up.
like it was just so much greener this year than it's been in years past, and I
Yeah,
think
too
it
slow.
took a lot of the bite and
I totally
the interest out of the shots on the ground.
I totally agree. Point 4 is slow and slopey greens. It just leads to confusion. One, these guys aren't used to it. 2,
On that note, how many times do you see guys just leaving it 6 feet
so
short?
far short.
It was so.
I mean, it's mountain golf, man. And
Yeah.
I remember when we played with Spieth and JT. If you're new to the pod, please go back and watch that video from 2 years ago. It was freaking, we had an awesome time with them. But like, there's like 3-foot putts that also they may have been a little wrong on this. They're like, this is outside the hole. This, and you don't like, my eye was not seeing that, but I know you're playing on a mountain, but like,
I didn't think about the fact that they could be like messing with you guys. That would have been funny. as
that
well.
makes more sense.
It
Some of
does.
those
I
reads.
missed them either way.
But like, just like
outside
talking,
the whole right or left.
making like going through the putts with them, like opened my eyes to like how interesting. I don't know. When you get really slippery, slidey greens, I just feel like you kind of have one speed to hit it, and you either get the read right and the stroke right, or you don't, and it just becomes this like little touch contest. I don't think that's very interesting.
The kind of like pulling back as you're making contact.
See, as
Sure.
someone who doesn't feel like I'm a strong putter, I always struggle on greens, on slow greens like this. Whereas I like fast greens.
Well, that almost proves the point, right?
Yeah, I
So
don't.
you just said you're
with,
not a
like,
strong putter.
No, I know. I would
Yeah.
much rather be on fast greens where I just touch it.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah, I maybe because I've grown to kind of love putting on Bermuda as well. Like some of these really interesting, like uphill, left to right, 8-footers where you got to stay committed to it. I see guys get really uncomfortable in the greens here, and I think that's an added element of Kapalua. I just like watching them putt these greens. And the last one, it's like totally unfair at times. Like, you're going to hit some drives down the middle of the fairway that just like carry them off. Like the 13th hole, I don't know what you're supposed to do there. It's kind of like 13 at St. Andrews. Like there's not really like a great place to hit it, but 6 as well. You're kind of just going to hit it out there and hope for a good lie in the rough.
Was it Hideki that hit
Dietrich's ball?
Dietrich's ball?
Like I just think that's
a couple times this week.
That's an interesting element to play in this course. You can get really plugged in some pot bunkers, like on 12. You can hit that in that pot bunker on 5 that's sort of sitting there in the middle of the fairway.
Seeing Collin hit it in the center line bunker on
16.
16.
Yeah,
that was thrilling.
Yeah. There's
That
just
was I want to
though-
apologize to you guys about 16. Because while he was standing on that tee, I was like, this whole
This all
fucking
stinks.
stinks,
This
man.
could be anywhere.
Yeah, this is dumb. And then he like hit it in that
It's still
bunker. I was
not
like,
my favorite.
"Ooh, all
Though.
right."
Well, then he hit his wedge like,
Well,
20
yeah,
feet.
it rolled all. I thought it like plugged up in the lip, but it kind of rolled back.
I will say though, I know unfair at times is fine. I don't like when balls funnel to the same spot on a golf hole. So 13 at Kapalua, 6, kind of what we're talking about. Everything ends up in that bottom of the hill on the right. I know it's hard to prevent on a mountain course, but when that's happening on like more than 2 or 3 holes, it's kind of annoying to me.
I guess I see enough golf over the course of the year where I'm kind of like, hey, go play a hole where you kind of got to
change up.
Yeah, you kind of got to figure this out.
I'm
like,
cool with that. But
totally.
generally, rule of thumb is like, oh man, I hate it when you see like divots in the same spot.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, so doesn't matter. I can
agree.
hit 6-iron to driver and it's going to end up here.
Again, I don't even know if I can explain to you why I think it works here, but I'm like, yeah, figure this little 60-yard pitch out from the right rough on 6. That's great.
Well, it's different, right? I mean, if you had 25 of these courses, it wouldn't be quite as fun. But it's
a resort
different.
course.
It's the time of year.
different.
It's the views. It's just the
I
whole
think the views,
the whole
help.
package, man.
We got our in the just 6 p.m. to 8 p.m.
Yeah. Franchises over. We're telling them about Molokai and all the
Yeah.
lepers over there.
The
You know, it's
clappers
sure,
on the
it's great.
multi.
He's like, wait, is that Lanai or is that Molokai? No, I think that's
Lanai.
Lanai. It's like, that's
Larry
Molokai,
Ellison's
Dad.
place, right? Yeah.
And no joke, Rolf adds a ton to it
For sure.
Like, his passion for the place and getting to hear him talk about it for as many years as we have, like it just hits, man. I love this week.
Here.
Guys, it was pretty wild to see Davis Riley shoot 73, 80, 74.
Big numbers are out there.
74, and then he withdrew after 9 holes today. He started on the back today. He did not have a par. He shot 38 without a par on the back.
That's pretty sick.
Birdie, bogey, bogey, birdie, bogey, birdie, bogey, bogey, birdie.
He still get his last place money.
I think he does.
Even with a
I think
WD.
that's like 50 grand.
He must be battling something.
Yeah,
that's
Yeah.
tough.
You're gonna leave.
Speaking of which,
Neil,
I mean,
otherwise Harmon was DFL
I
besides
hate
him.
that.
So
Maybe not a great setup for Brian.
not
this week.
not doing stuff. I feel like lefties have played well here, though, haven't they? Maybe just Bubba. Anyways, TC, I feel like that brings us
You got to
to
hit the ball pretty far
For
out here.
sure.
And so I don't know if that's what
totally.
that's
And look,
his game.
Look,
He
the
plays a
scores are-
different game than Bubba.
Scores are wildly low. First of all, the 5th hole should just be a par 4.
Yeah.
Of course, the par doesn't really actually matter, but the guys are hitting like 9 irons into that hole. That's easy. That's an easy one to change.
I think I was watching on Friday, maybe, and they said that was there only like 2 or 3 guys that didn't hit the green in 2?
Everybody went for the green in 2 today.
Yeah.
or
On
it's just a
Sunday, they said.
construct.
That's
Yeah,
right.
it doesn't matter. But like if you don't want the winning score to be 35,
And
under,
it's a par 73 as it is.
it doesn't need to be a par 73. You can change 15 as well to a par 4. Just put a little teeth in it.
Cool. There's 8
That's 8 shots.
8
thrown
shots
back.
right there.
And there's not a lot of difficult holes. Like it is like a lot of drive and pitch holes. Like of course the scores are going to be low. I still just think the drive and pitch holes are interesting enough. Like watching 14, the drivable 4 up the hill. Like there's consequences for blowing it too far left, too far right. And there's all kinds of interesting shots in there. The grainy grass around the greens. I'm done, but
I
give me
do
a done.
like seeing guys like with some weird finishes and follow throughs trying to stub one into the green, bring one in low under the wind, or that sort of thing. So
TC, I feel like this is prime time for down the leaderboard.
Yeah.
First event of the season. Where guys at? So how long should we give them? It's 8:45.
it's a limited field. I don't need long.
I'd say less than you think.
Okay, well, we'll give it 6 minutes.
No, that's way too long.
No.
No, I
Let's
don't
see what
need,
we
I don't
get.
need 5 or
2
6
minutes. 2 minutes is a long time.
All right, let's see.
We talked some Collin.
We
Sunday.
didn't talk much. We didn't talk much, Colin.
All right.
This
that's
doesn't
my
start.
clock.
That's what I'm saying.
Doesn't
I'm
count.
giving you 5-6 minutes. I think at least.
We'll come back to
That's
Colin.
a 10-second runoff right there.
I think.
Under 2
Listen,
minutes.
what did Colin shoot? 31 under this week.
32 under.
32 under. Got beat. I'm buying Colin stock. I don't know what
feel
to
like he
say.
looks really good.
Yeah, I think so too. It's got that patented cut working, driving it good, making putts. I mean, I
copy paste what I said about Hideki of getting on the slow greens
Yeah.
could be a positive thing for him. But and I know that Collin's not winning at the pace that he was, and especially the size of events that he was when he came out. But I don't have the numbers in front of me for once. He's playing. He's a better golfer. Like his iron play
floor
like,
is high.
He's playing more solid, consistent week to week golf. That doesn't get rewarded as heavily in pro golf, but it can be a sign of leveling up. And keep an eye on that one.
Sungjae, Neil, you were saying earlier.
Yeah, I just keep trying to time the market on Sungjae, and I just keep selling low and buying high. I just can't time it up.
Fartcoin has outperforming the
didn't see Sungjae
S&P.
doing it this week. Just didn't see. You know, I'm always like, oh, maybe this is the week. I can't figure him out. So
yeah, you might just need to go long. You know, just buy some Sungjae index fund.
But it just seems
let
God,
it sit for
seems
30
to hit
years.
the ball so damn solid. Why doesn't he win more? You know, I am asking myself, like,
shot
compared to
fucking
Hideki, I often look at the leaderboard. And I'm like, God, Sungjae, how do you miss the cut? Like, what's his deal? He's got the wave god on the bag. Like, what are we
Sungjae
doing?
NPC for me. He's just there.
Yeah,
he's just there. He's never a threat to win.
He's broken record, but guys get more interesting when they win, and with very, 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 very few wins. I'm like, I'm
for as hard as you guys were on Big Tone. Let's get some fire under.
But I don't think
Sungjae.
but Sungjae's not being.
No, and nobody's. I haven't
Yeah.
ridden for him. I feel like I've tried to pick him like in some of our.
Nobody's like, oh my God, he's so good.
Because you're like, man, he's got to break out at some point. You know, you're like, this
how old is
stock has
Sungjae?
to go up. I think he's 30.
No, I think he's less than that. I think he's like 27.
He is
Breaking news coming.
26.
Oh, jeez.
Turns 27 2 months.
That's what I'm saying, Neil. Just get some index funds and just you'll be shocked what happens
He's
with that
only-
money in 10 years.
He's only
all
one,
inflation,
He's
though.
only one
Are
or
you
2 years
thinking
older than
world
Ludwig.
compound interest.
Compounding
Exactly.
and an idea.
Johnny Vegas.
That was I
solo
didn't have
fourth.
I didn't have that.
I see that.
I didn't have that.
I didn't know he was in the field. That's great stuff.
Ludwig, Corey Connors, Thomas Dietrich, all T5. Ludwig shot 9 under 64
Who
today.
was not on the happy hour, Neil? Are you buying or selling multiple Ludwig wins?
Well, I was
this
on the
year?
happy hour.
Oh, that's right.
I wasn't.
Stolly wasn't on. That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
Ludwig had two Eagles today.
Buying or selling winning
Multiple
2 events?
Ludwig wins.
Selling.
Wow. Okay.
Interesting.
Continue to hate.
I sold. I said one event.
You think he's too old?
Think he's past his prime?
He's only 1 year younger than Sungjae.
All right, he's past his prime. Okay.
I think Ludwig, it's going to be a very interesting year. I mean, I'm a super huge believer in the talent. I fear he's going to get stuck in the very frequent top fives without winning, unless he gets considerably better at getting the ball in the hole. Just the short game process. Like the ball striking, the floor is so freaking high that he almost like majors. He's going to top. I wouldn't be surprised if he top 10 in all four.
But he's going to get some
Do the
hot
stats show that he's a
putter.
bad putter?
No, he's just
No,
like
I think he's just kind of meh.
just hasn't had like the round 4 success, and it's just been kind of.
When I watch him putt, I don't think the way that I look at Hideki or even Collin, where you're like, yeah, he's changing grips and stuff. Like Ludwig looks pretty comfortable and natural over a putt.
Definitely was
If I had
positive last year.
If I had my tools in front of me, I could break this down for you, but I'm flying blind tonight.
What do you want to know?
No, it's too complicated for you. The
The
pressure tool you would on data golf, you wouldn't know how to work.
Can't even spit when you use it.
What else? I mean, I think he's his chipping's gotten better. He's gonna hit it close. Like it's gonna seem
He's gonna have a
sometimes like
massive
he's not
year.
gonna have.
He's one of the 5 best players in the world. I'm not buying 2
All right.
wins. That's a lot of wins.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
print it out, Ludwig.
That's fine.
Okay.
We'll buy the- we'll
I'm
buy
gonna,
it
I'm gonna put a
right here.
whiteboard right there.
Yeah.
I hope I'm
Bulletin
wrong.
board
I
material.
very
We'll
clearly
buy
hope
the
I'm wrong.
dip.
Yeah. I don't know
You
how
gotta
I'm doing
remember,
on time here.
Scotty's gonna win 6.
He's trying.
No,
he's
this is like the
trying to-
chess-
He's trying to 4-quarter offense.
No, this is like the
here.
chess thing. We stop it every time. Every time we tape.
Corey Connors.
Sure.
Whatever. Dietrich, Sam Burns, Mav McNeely, Cam Young.
That was good. Signs of life.
Yeah, some signs of life
With the
Cam.
blow by
Love
him
seeing
shoes
that.
on.
Hogecoin. Hogecoin had the early, first round lead, shot 64, and then
Came back to
But
the
TC,
field.
he's picking up right where he left off on signature events.
yeah,
We played with him at the BMW Pro-Am, and he's like, man, I've been playing awful this year. I just keep making top 10s in these signature events. It's crazy.
and he's like, "Yo, I'm a mule. You can put me out to pasture.
Yeah.
when I'm done. I don't want to play till I'm like 48 out here. Like I'm making a lot of money, and I'm just."
He was great,
Yeah.
man. But right here, T8, that's classic Hogecoin right there.
On that note, as TC's going down the leaderboard, I know this is a positive vibe show. Man, there's some names missing from this list.
And there's some names on this list where like I'm like, ugh.
Not just of not being in the field, one that are PJ Tour players, and the live guys leaving. I'm just, it gets bleak pretty quickly. I enjoyed watching this one, but oof.
It's tough when it turned into the cream rose a bit, and we had some names up there towards the top of the leaderboard. But going into Thursday, I'm scrolling around, I'm like, this event sucks.
Well,
and I'm like, wait,
rose, but we didn't get a good finish, and part of that is like just working from a smaller base of cream, and
limited cream.
It's like a cortado.
The cream.
You start calling these event cortados.
It's like those
no cream.
Those fake creamers Carson keeps getting for our coffee. It's like milk. It's not milk. It's like almond milk. I don't know.
Tom Hoagie career earnings before this week.
So weird with all the FedEx Cup stuff. 17 million.
I was gonna say 18 million.
I'll go 19.
You're closest, Neil. 21.
Wow. Jesus.
We could play career earning game every weekend and
For
I
sure.
shut down. It's
For sure.
one of my favorite games.
Start the clock.
Harry Hall, another NPC.
Yeah, I'm good.
Definitely an NPC. Create a player
Yeah.
in the video game.
Taylor
What
Pendrith.
if I gave him this hat?
Pendrith
be
playing.
cool, right? It's like Freddie created him upstairs. This looks like a golfer.
I don't know why he only has one
He's just
sponsor.
fake Bryson.
He has one
right?
sponsor. Yeah.
Diet Bryson.
Big shot Bob T15 here making his debut.
What was up with your pick for him to win this week?
I don't
That
know. It
was
was
sad.
weird. I
Lefties,
didn't wanna-
man. Lefties play well here.
I don't know. It was fun. I had fun.
I thought, all right, it's
Worried
maybe
about
it's
the- I don't know. I
maybe
was
it's
thinking about the
super
Waffle House.
windy. Maybe the ball on the ground. It's kind of linksy and weird.
But he hates that golf. He's an adopted American.
I mean, he plays well on American links.
God,
I think,
TC's on his back foot right now. I don't know. I had fun.
all right, we'll keep going.
Let's talk about your pick.
Aaron Rye, T15, Eckroat, Keegan. I'm
Doing
telling
stuff.
you, Keegan's gonna make the Ryder Cup team.
God, shout out to the giraffe.
KBB, stick your neck out.
The blow pig.
Hold on.
Yeah.
You're not gonna stunt with he's T15 in the 59-man field.
He's like number 12 in
He's
the
12
world.
in the world, dude.
I know he's solid. He's
crazy.
got to finish
Yeah.
top 6 in the standings though to make the team.
The pro
What did he finish?
minus 19, T26.
T26.
Middle of the pack.
with JT, with Zalatoris. I was expecting a bigger week from the swolled up Zalatoris, put on
Started
20
hot.
pounds of muscle. Xander.
Well,
Team
let me go
30.
back to the pro. Sol, you weren't on the happy hour. Any thoughts on changes? I know there's
You
all
guys
kinds
covered
of
that
stuff
for like
going-
45 minutes on the happy hour. I think.
Well, there wasn't much else to talk about,
That's
honestly.
true.
It was
That's
kind of, honestly, that was like the news of golf. It's like freaking athletic article. It was a whole rollout.
You
so-
eventually landed where Neil eventually landed where I'm kind of at. I'm like, yeah, he probably thought about all this stuff. But,
Of course.
yeah.
Xander, surprising
Tough
week for
first
him.
round. Didn't he have it like triple in the first round or something?
There were a few high numbers out there for a few guys.
Yeah.
They kind of derailed him. Yeah, he had a double on 4 in the first round. But otherwise, Hovland finished the tournament on his little broken
I
pinky
forgot
toe.
about that.
T36. Sahith, awful first round.
You guys,
He had a big number in the first round.
Awful.
how,
Had a
He-
9, I think.
He
on
had an
9.
8. He had an 8 on 9.
8 on 9.
I might just let some of the saw his stuff speak for itself at this point, unless anybody's going to apologize here.
What is the? Why
This is
would
where
we
he
talk-
shoots 76. This is supposed to be his kind of golf.
hit goal.
It should be like primo for him.
Yeah, a bad first round of the turn. What did he shoot?
Drive it anywhere on the planet.
68,
Be-
67,
be creative.
66.
No, that's like below the
fine.
field average.
He's fine.
That's bad.
Cody, can you
Watch this
flash
space.
Jason Day's outfit up on screen? I thought that was I like.
So are we off the leaderboard now?
No, we can still be on the leaderboard.
I think
but
we're
yeah,
we're
I
T
think we're
40.
good.
This
Yeah.
was great.
It was sick. I thought I liked it.
If you're not watching the video, just all I don't even know what green you
He
call that.
kind of looks
TC.
like a veterinary, like physician's assistant.
Looks like
a
ER.
nurse
What are
at the-
those?
Yeah.
What are those like new trendy scrubs?
Yeah.
I see 'em
exactly.
Walk around the neighborhood in New York. I can't remember the name of them.
So, question for you guys: were we off with the original
Oh, this is
Malbon
so
stuff,
different.
or has it gotten better?
I think
This
I
has
think
gotten way better.
Some weeks are great.
Yeah.
Some week it's just very high variance.
I remain in on the black sweater with all the print on it. Or the vest that had all that like
The
white.
Augusta
cigarette
made him
one or
take it
whatever?
off.
That was sick. I was in on that. The
No.
big pants are the only thing I was like, I think you guys are
I
trying
feel
to.
like it's a little similar
this a
to the like last year at this time. It was being shoved in my face so much, where it was like
Just do it.
Just do it. Yes, like this. There was no PR announcement about this outfit, and it's like, just allow me to.
This just looks clean.
Also,
Look
you know
at
what?
the outfit.
You know what I can't see on this photo, and maybe it's on the other sleeve. Is just like a giant DeWalt logo. You know, that's where I'm like, yo,
probably on
you
the
can't.
sleeve.
You know, we can't pretend like we're gonna be this fashion icon and then also have like Power Tools logo. Get the fuck out of
But
here.
what if you can?
This looks awesome. This is great.
Three other call outs. Matt McCarty, tough start for him, T53. Dunlap, 55th, and Jake Knapp, 56th. Some guys that hit the ball pretty far, and you know.
I don't know what Dunlap. I don't know what Dunlap is. I know he's
I don't know
very,
about you
very,
guys.
very, very young, but I don't like seeing weeks like that.
I don't know if there's any like actual correlation to this, but I feel like a bad week at Kapalua is just like a total punt. Like I wouldn't even factor that in
yeah.
2 weeks from
I
now.
would just go get a Mai Tai at the pool, right?
One more hole, we go get a Mai Tai.
I will say they did need to put Hideki on the clock at the very end there. Like
That would have been sick.
he was playing
Especially since he's up
so
by 4.
slow coming down the stretch. Like inject some.
And I'll say this too. I mean, I know the scores were crazy low at the top, but like I watched enough golf on Thursday of JT, of Max, and like watched the ups and downs. Like it was not. They didn't make it. Those guys at the top made it look way easier than it is. I mean, they lifted and separated pretty damn hard.
You still feel good about your Henley pick for
Sure.
Sony?
Did he have a bad week?
No, he played
Okay.
fine.
Yeah, I feel great about that one.
Yeah.
Guys, one more break. I want to talk to you about our friends at Whoop.
Yes.
New year, new you, Neil.
That's right.
I already mentioned it. If you have not already, check out this year's Trap Draw Goals podcast presented by Whoop that we posted earlier in the week. The Trap Draw, again, is our other non-golf podcast available wherever you get your podcast. We've all been wearing Whoop for a few years now, but if you're not familiar, it is a fitness wearable that does so much more than just actively tracking. You can get all kinds of stats. You've probably seen it on the wrist or biceps of one of your favorite pros. We are not pros, but we use the Whoop to help hit our health goals, whether that's sleep, recovery, or fitness related goals in the new year. Neil, what are we doing in February? Tell the people.
We're doing a 10 strain challenge.
What does that mean?
Well,
What does
it
that mean?
means every day of February, if you get over 10,
What does that mean? How does
10
Whoop
straight.
work?
well, it has a strain. It
There
can
you
go
go.
to 21. If you get 21, it means your heart exploded.
What's the
It's
highest
kind
you've
of like
ever
Bitcoin.
gotten?
Like it goes to 21. Yeah, that's it. And then if it goes over, it's just like it's over. So
What's the highest you've ever gotten?
20.4.
You
Your heart almost
climbed Rainier?
exploded?
Maybe, but like I think yes,
Yeah.
and it was just like I didn't sleep, and
Okay.
a lot of factors involved, and like how much recovery did you get? Anyway, I don't want to bog us down. 10, if you get 10, it means you had a pretty active day. That's like a good
Walking around a golf?
Mendoza line.
Yeah.
It's not a big day, but it means that you didn't take the day off. And so if you get over 10 for all of February,
What would you do to hit 10?
round of golf would get you there.
Yeah.
If you walked with your
10
bag.
waffles?
Guys,
Digesting 10 waffles?
I do not have to leave the upstairs of my house to
Yeah,
get
if you're on your
10
feet
right now.
a bunch all day,
No.
if you do a bunch of big walks, heart rate, baby. If you get your heart rate up.
There it is.
No
The
recovery.
stress of 3 kids under 1.5 will get me there every single day. I have no problem.
So sorry, I kept cutting you off. In
Should be a
February,
12 string
Yeah, we'll have
challenge.
more information on this,
Yeah.
but in February we'll have an NLU Whoop group. I got to fix apparently the Whoop group people have been trying to get into it. We're gonna have to fix that. So I'm
Are
gonna
you
have to get on.
gatekeeping?
No, I got to get on the phone with Whoop. We got to make sure it's set up properly.
Okay.
gotcha.
That's why we're doing this in February and not January. Also, January everyone's trying to do New Year, New Me bullshit.
Who's there in February?
Who's there in February? First?
Shortest
I want to
month,
know.
baby.
Shortest month. Who wants to be there in February? I'll see you
This
February.
thing should go
1st.
till March 3rd.
There you
Maybe
go.
that's
Maybe it will.
that's a nice idea, TC.
Well, head to join.whoop.com/NLU to get started with Whoop on a free 1-month trial that includes the hardware and a completely unlocked app experience. If you don't love it, you can send it back. No questions asked. Shout out to Whoop. Happy to be working with them again.
I won't drag this out, but I found a response in the census I loved. Some guys, I was like, have you ever bought anything from an NLU ad? And the guy's like, yeah, I bought a Whoop because it really helps to see like idiots like you wearing it and how you use it versus like the pros. And I thought that was, I was like, the way he worded it made me laugh really hard. I was like,
Mahalo.
"Oh, thank you, sir.
Relatability,
He's
right?
like, and then he put in, like, no offense to anyone.
No, of course.
So,
Anything else on the Kapalua front? Any bullets in the chamber? Shall we move on?
I have one. Well, I think it'll transition us into potentially TGL stuff.
Sure.
I just found it fascinating to see how hard they are promoting TGL over the last week and having Rory on at halftime with Scott Van Pelt to promote TGL this Tuesday. I get it. We're trying to get it off to a good start, but if I was Sentry, I'd be pissed to just see. I was like, while he's doing that, I was like, there is literally a signature event going on a different channel. And it's just, it kind of, I don't know. You don't see that happening a lot with
That he didn't show up for,
which I guess is understandable because he's a co-founder of the league, but it's just a really weird dissonance there of like, hey, we're starting this whole other league, but you got all these sponsors that have ridden with you through all this bullshit over the last 4 years. Something's got to give, man.
Yeah.
That kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Where I'm like, man, this is like this not a historic, but this is a core tournament, a signature, elevated, whatever you want to call it, event, and it's on right now. Yet you're over here
It's
on
a
this
Cortado.
on this other channel, pimping this like that we're golf, but golf, but meta, not louder
not
golf,
louder.
but
golf, but meta.
I don't know
kinda
what
not,
I don't know.
yeah.
So that's just an observation I made on Saturday, which I get why they're doing it, but they got to watch it, man. You can't.
Or else.
Well, I'm just thinking about. I'm like, man, if I'm the Sentry CEO, I'm probably watching the NFL too, and I'm like,
He's probably watching his Packers, right?
yeah.
Oh,
I
tough
mean,
one for him today.
So how do you guys? Do you think is that
No, dude,
unfair?
I think it's totally right. I think the whole thing has become just this for years has felt like such a weird ass game of whack-a-mole where you're just constantly trying to just like build the plane as you're flying.
These
it
events
and try-
mean more, but like I
Right.
don't want to piss off John Deere.
we
But
were-
They it means more in name only. Like it's signature in name only. Like it's
not the
worth,
SEC.
it's worth more. It's just worth more money. Like the field's a little bit better, but it doesn't have all the best play. Like it's not the idea of the signature events when they started. Like it's not. They don't change the graphics. They don't really actually make you think that it's a bigger tournament than next week at Sony. Like that's part of the branding of
It's
these
the same
events.
product.
Yeah.
Well, and going back to the whole
You're not wrong. It's just kind of like
it's like, man, but I've never seen them ever like advertise. It's funny. They advertise like the players while the players is on. It's
Right.
like, well, why wouldn't you run ads on ESPN during football for the players? That you never see them ever.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Masters
but
has
they're
been
doing.
running
They're
ads,
basically.
but-
They must have
yeah.
paid so much to have that little segment to. Well, probably not because
they're a
ESPN's
partner
right.
for that.
they're a partner.
Yeah,
but,
like
I mean, ESPN's really putting a lot of muscle behind this with Van Pelt, and
Yeah.
you could tell
They
it's a
want it to
big deal
work.
for
I mean,
them.
it's
They want
kind
it
of
to work.
incremental
So,
revenue for them, right? Because
Totally.
it's going to be Monday.
So,
like it's Tuesday night next week. It's going to be, I think, Monday nights after football ends, and then a few Saturdays.
Well, also think of the cost for them, the cost of broadcasting TGL versus the Open Championship,
I know.
Masters. Like it's a fixed thing. All the cameras can stay there. You fly your crew in, and that's about
I
it,
think
man.
maybe
Like,
I'm being too hard on them. Like
stars,
it
too.
just kind of
Right.
it
Yeah.
made me think about this. But you know who's winning out when you talk about from a sponsor standpoint is SoFi.
For sure.
Yeah.
The amount of just kind of tangential logo placement they're getting, and that's where if I'm a Sentry, I'm like, man, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Well,
Spending all this money on this one event.
They're flying a bunch of their
Yeah, I know
highest
it's an
producing
entertaining. You're right.
agents out
As
out
De- as-
to
As
Kapalua
Denny
and
Cash
putting up
has
at the
taught
Ritz.
us, as Denny Cash has taught
Don't
us,
hit
I know
me.
it's
Denny's over there.
Yeah.
It's not a. No, wait, what?
Yeah. Do you want to go visit Stevens Point right
Neil,
now?
I
or-
think
or
it'll be
Maui?
really, really interesting in mid-February, late February, like on the eve of the triple header that they're doing for MLK weekend or whatever. Like that Monday, I think they're doing like an all-day thing. Will they put the same level? Like, are they just trying to get it off to a great start and then get that initial bump and then hope that enough people are drawn to it and keep watching it? Or are they going to keep this same level of promotion all the way through? It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, they're gonna have to get people to care about who wins and loses quickly for that to continue. Like it's not going to be wildly entertaining banter enough that like the 6th iteration is going to be must see TV. Like if we end up actually caring who wins and loses, which I don't think we will off the bat, maybe not even in year one,
Man.
but like that is a path to success. Is
I
like
think the first 3 weeks will probably be some initial buzz because you'll have Tiger playing week 2, I think. You'll have Rory, and then middle of the season is kind of the doldrums.
Yeah.
So it's like what's it gonna look like week 4, week 5, and then it'll be all right. The guy's trying to get into the playoffs, I guess, right? But like 4 of the 6
They're letting
teams
too
make
many
the
goddamn
playoffs.
teams into the playoffs these days.
I don't know. I mean, we're gonna talk about it on Tuesday. I think we're gonna right here in TC's garage.
hell yeah.
I think we're gonna
Yeah,
pop a couple of high noons, get loose with it.
guys are making me stay up till 11.
Well, way later. It ends at 11.
Yeah, I know.
So
I'm not looking forward to that either, brother.
couple of details. It does kick off this week, Tuesday night, January 7th. It is Solly's beloved New York Golf Club against the Schuster brothers, the Bay.
The Bay.
Is it the Bay Golf Club? Is it just the Bay?
Well, there's a health club out there called the Bay Club.
Is
So
that right?
it's like it can't
it
be the Bay
copyright?
Club.
I'm
sure
gonna call
that's
it. I'm gonna
copyright.
call it the Bay, the BAE.
I think that's right. Playing for New York is going to be Fitz, Ricky, and Xander. They're taking on Wyndham, Shane Lowry, and Ludwig. I believe the format is it starts out with 9 holes of 3-man alt shot,
Triples.
which is kind of sick.
DJ's
Yeah.
slowly
Kinda
coming
sick.
around on this.
Not
thing.
slowly, man. I'm like, dude, I don't know how to say it other than what am I more curious to check out?
I'm
Like,
looking forward to it.
This
It's really
broadcast from
fast.
9 to 11 on a Tuesday night, or 4 days
Yeah.
of the Sony
Yeah.
of just like, yeah, kind of the warm milk open.
Can I ask a
Curious
question?
is the word.
Yeah.
I'm curious, but I'm not.
I'm not invested. Like, I
I
don't give
know.
a shit who wins. But like, I think I'm like, oh, what did you guys spend like
I
$2
want
billion
see,
trying
I
to
wanna
put
see
this
the
thing up?
shot
Let's see what it
value on
looks
the
like.
spear.
And they're using real turf.
They're
and,
using-
and sand. And sand.
Question: Could TGL actually like drive a stake through the PGA Tour? Like, is
I don't
not
think
in year
so.
one, but like,
I don't think so.
does this become like the future of? Does it have a chance?
Well,
I just think it's a different thing.
it is.
Or maybe, I mean, because I think if the PGA Tour gets a stake driven through it, it's by itself.
Yeah.
But I'm
Not
saying it's
by-
like it's on its way down. But like, does this
Seppuku.
is this a
An
a fun-
honorable death.
And I'm not saying majors. Like majors are still going to be their thing, and it's just kind of like, or you have majors, and then you have like, all right, this super like you're talking about super digestible version right now, or like 4 days of this tournament. Like, is this going to outrate? It's going to outrate Sony, right?
I think so.
I mean, definitely Thursday, Friday, maybe Saturday.
It's gonna be
probably not
interesting.
Sunday.
I think it's gonna be interesting. I wouldn't be shocked. I mean, I guess I don't know. I'm not ratings guy. I don't know.
No,
How,
I
mean,
think Golf Channel.
Every
yeah.
bar in the
But
country
didn't
has ESPN
Steph
on all the
Curry's
time.
putt show outrate this?
Oh, by
Oh
a-
yeah,
by a
holy moly,
holy moly!
massive factor.
2.5
Yeah.
million people.
And I
watch
mean,
that.
maybe Holy Moly is what drove a stake through the.
Mm.
part of the
People
PGA
don't. Nobody's
Tour.
saying that.
It's a great
Nobody's.
point.
nobody's
Rob
Yeah.
Riggle.
Any other, you TC, you went down for the media day. Any
Yeah.
other
Well, they
kinda
had
lingering
6,
thoughts?
They had, so they'll do the 9 holes of triples, and then they'll do the 6 singles holes.
And I think
So
how does it work? So it's each guy plays 2 holes.
each guy plays 2 holes. It'll be like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Got it.
So
What's the serpent all about?
yeah, so the
Serpent's sick.
serpent's
Serpent's
okay.
fine.
Yeah, the spear will be the 9th hole of triples.
Oh, I didn't realize there's
so-
a crack on hole.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a par 3. It's like
I haven't really
dug
dug in on the
That's what-
designs yet.
From the
I-
twisted mind of Bo Welling.
I went through the holes on the website. Literally, I was like, "Oh, this one looks interesting." Clicked on it. Pisa.
Oh,
Look on
all
the-
of them.
All
Yeah.
of the interesting
Yeah.
holes are
Oh,
Pisa.
Nicholas design disgrace. Quick draw.
Pisa's
That'll
got
be the
some-
15th hole.
yeah.
That's one of the ones that they were playing during the demonstration that I was there for. Ricky's going to be really good at this. Ricky, I'm told, has been in there like weekly practicing his nuts off. Like, and all the other guys, like,
This
so
is second act.
Horschel.
If that doesn't sum
Horschel-
up just kind of the whole.
God, what
the
is
whole-
alley oop
the
for
whole
Randy?
deal.
I wish he
Horschel
was
and
here.
Wyndham were
Can we
like-
call it
Randy
Randy?
bursts through the door from New Zealand.
he opens up the garage door.
I'm at that.
What
for
was that
reason,
Sully? I didn't
I'm
quite
out.
catch it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but like chipping, for instance, there's grain.
Wait, quick draw
In
is 720 yards.
Yeah, it's really long.
Mm.
It's a tough layup too. It is. So,
Is this green?
well, yeah. I mean, like the turf kind of, there's like natural grain one way or another. So when you're into the grain, like chipping's going to be interesting. And then the greens are relatively slow, or the green, I should say, is relatively slow.
Are they calling it the green zone? Did I just see in that write up?
It's the green zone and the screen zone.
It feels like
Yeah.
stolen.
That's
valor
going to be
a
kind of
little
the
bit.
weird thing of like that kind of 30 to 60 yard range of like what's chipping and what's virtual. And then I think like flex is going to be a real interesting one there.
Is that Pisa?
Number 8. I think that is Pisa. One of other pick your plunder, the plan. I mean, there's all sorts of crazy stuff, but
Pisa's got some interesting
Yeah.
stuff going on here.
the spear will be fascinating.
Simplicity,
I
TC,
cannot
might be the
wait.
hardest
Yeah.
thing.
But I think putting is going to be interesting too, because there's no imperfections on the green. So guys that want to pick a spot, there's no spot to pick.
It's got to be pretty darn easy to figure out the
Look at
math
this.
of some of the breaks of these
Yeah,
things.
this
If
is
you're aim point,
flex.
I guess if you don't have time to aim point, yeah. I am very curious. We'll be watching every second of it.
And there's the
Tuesday.
hammer too. I mean, we haven't talked about the hammer yet, which is like you can hammer. And there's I think there's
They're not
two
playing
timeouts.
no air hammers though.
No, there's like a flag that they throw.
And there's a referee.
Yeah, there's a former NBA referee, and then
Tim Donaghy.
that would be sick. And then what's his Mark Russell is sitting up on the second floor. He's kind of like
Commodus.
he's kind of like the judge.
This banker.
All right, so
Deal
where
or
did
no
we
deal?
net out on the paid spectators?
Yeah, so this was a story going around this week that there was an ad
And
for.
TC was looking into this.
There was an ad basically highlighting like get paid to come to this virtual golf
Yeah,
event, and
yeah.
it was very clearly TGL. And I don't know if it was a seat filler thing.
Palm Beach Post picked up on it. One of the local newspapers picked up on it as well. It sounds like they were for outside activations or to make sure that, like, I guess the first two are sold out, and then it'll be after that. But I guess that TGL was
in case
saying
it goes really wrong.
yeah, TGL was saying it was for live demos prior to everyone getting in. So we'll see. I don't know. It was.
Did you get season tickets?
I do not have season tickets. It's tough to get down
Just
there.
see if you
for
can
these
parlay
days.
some
how
of your
many
Jag
seats are
season
there?
tickets.
There's only
There's
like 100.
2,000.
Oh, 2,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's going to be like the coolest live demo space in the world. Like if you're a company and you want to like release a new product or something, or have someone speak with a massive screen, totally. Like it's going to be
Elizabeth Holmes in there.
it's going to be sought after for that sort of thing. And then there's all these like weird, kind of like fake boxes, all around. So it's
Like I desperately want it to be basketball.
That's what
but
it sounds
But
like.
it's too polished. Like there's
Yeah.
too many brands involved. So it's like it can't be.
there were a lot of brands involved at the end.
Like
of
it's not a
basketball,
scrappy
though.
upstart.
Well, that's kind of what ruined basketball. You know,
was what?
the brands.
Yes.
Yeah, so we got to watch out for that.
That's what I'm
thing
worried
might not even
Teams
get off the
started
ground.
relocating.
Exactly.
And all of that.
Exactly.
I think it goes
Jazz
without
moved
saying
to Salt Lake City where they don't allow music.
there's got to be like some wiggle room of in year one. Like they're not going to get everything right. Like I'd be surprised if we deem it a total failure. Cannot bounce back from this at the end of year one.
I think what's cool is that there's no like comp. Like I think this is going to sound whatever. It's going to sound more like more live bashing, but like the problem with live is that it's such a direct comp to the PGA Tour, right? When you're like, well, dude, you're not really changing anything. You're wearing shorts and you have shittier players.
And it's
Like,
louder.
I'm not that
So
into
much
that.
louder,
Like this
though.
is not a comp to the PGA Tour.
This is T20.
This
cricket.
is, yeah, like this is like a totally different thing.
And thinking about my mother and father-in-law
Totally.
watching this, they don't have any like dog in the fight. They'll turn on and be like, oh, this is interesting.
But
You know?
I think what's
people love
super
they're
it.
not going to be
sports.
like analyzing it like I am,
Totally.
like on a micro scale.
But I think where the fallacy and where golf always kind of steps on its own dick with all this stuff is when it's like people have that conversation. They're like, oh man, if they go to Top Golf, then they're going to get hooked. And then they're going to suddenly have $100,000 of disposable income to go join a club. And then they're going to just start playing every weekend. And then they're going to, I'm like, no, that's not how it works. Like the problems with like why it's hard to play golf still exist. Top Golf just makes it easier.
Yeah.
This is the same thing where it's like, if there's anybody in the golf industry who's like, I think these people, they're going to get hooked on TGL. And then I think they're going to watch Thursday of the Amex. I'm like, no, they're not, man. Like it
But even if-
synthesizes it.
Yeah.
And maybe it gets them in the boat. Maybe it gets them watching the Masters or,
Maybe it doesn't
maybe
get
it turns
watching
kids
anything
into
else.
golf
Maybe they're
fans, but
just
it's
maybe
like-
it's just entertainment or whatever. Or like I don't think it has to be all things.
Oh,
to
maybe they
to
just
all
watch this.
people.
Totally. That's what I'm getting at.
And then I think
which I
it's
think is
something
still a victory.
I mean, it's something that people are going to gamble on Monday nights and Tuesday nights. And then also like, I don't think we need more people playing golf at this point, to be honest.
It's pretty swamped out there.
For
we
sure.
need pro golf to get figured out.
I guess the
Yeah.
better comp is what's happened in cricket
Yeah.
with
that's
like is that what you just
T20,
said?
yeah.
T20.
Yeah. So sorry, I didn't hear you say that, but I was thinking about that today too, of like that kind of changed cricket. But I don't know a lot of like diehard cricket people that maybe there's some diehards are like, man, they ruined the game with T20.
That was
Sure.
that was, I mean, you should watch the you probably have, it's called Explained.
Explained.
Yeah, on T20 cricket. And definitely people thought they were like, oh no, cricket's played over this many days and like this would totally ruin it to do this. But it reached a whole different subset of people that have 3 hours to watch the sporting event instead of 5 days to watch it. Hope I'm getting those time windows right. I was watching it and I was like, cricket, that sounds so dumb. Who would watch a sporting event over 5 days? It's like, Oh shit! I watch watch a tournament, a sporting event over 4 days.
And then we complain when
it's always
over
into baseball and golf.
We complain when the LPGA events are over 3 days.
Exactly.
But no, it's a super, like, either way, I think it's a really interesting thought exercise and it's an ambitious swing, and I give him a lot of credit for that.
Hope it hits, because again, no one was asking for this.
That's also
That's
true.
a massive
Yeah.
waste of time.
I think the technology is really,
Nobody.
really good. The build out, like the freaking arena is cool. Like, it's like,
It's
and
hard to
then
impress TC.
I think there's
It
going to
is.
be all sorts of,
So
like,
what
there's
did
going to
they
be
do?
winners.
Have
and
they
losers.
reinforced it though with the wind?
No, it's like a
like an arena
big
now.
ass.
So
So
building.
last year, was it truly like a Firefest thing where
What
they
were
were
they
just
doing?
like, did they just have like a temporary thing going?
Yeah, I don't understand how.
Like, we
it was
didn't get
gonna
enough
work.
answers on that.
I
Except
tried to dig around, and they were like, "No, like the technology was pretty much baked. We were just in a bubble
Except for the
instead of an
except for the
actual
roof.
like." Yeah, I was like, "Man, that
the only
seems like."
I'm
technology
sure
that-
one of the 5 parts of the Rory documentary, the Boston Common documentary.
Uncommon,
I'm sure it breaks it.
Yeah,
Breaks that down.
but I think the biggest thing is they need to be willing to, like, know that everything's not going to work. There's going to be failures. There's going to be misses in it, and like lean into certain stuff and be willing to be flexible and try new stuff. And hopefully, week 6 looks different than week 1,
And
right? And I'm not sure. Like Mike McCarley is, I'm not positive that like he's the guy. I think like,
He's the guy in charge.
yeah, and I think there's a lot of really talented people working on it who I was really, really impressed with. I didn't like, I wasn't sold on McCarley.
Which is interesting, because I think what is going to make this successful is just taking loosening your grip on the steering wheel a little bit, and not like trying to make it WWE instead of
Very serious
Olympic
sports
wrestling.
property.
Where it's like, dude, it's just it's winter, it's Tuesday night, it's 11 o'clock p.m. Like, people are just looking to have a cocktail and like chill the fuck out. We're not trying
First
to
one's
like
9 p.m. The rest are at 7 p.m.
watch the
Yeah.
but it's like, we're not trying to pretend like this is the pinnacle of
Right.
human sportsmanship.
And then
here.
give
It's
us
like,
some
it's just,
super snackable,
it's
social
kind of
stuff.
dumb and fun screen golf, man. Like, that's great.
Everybody with it says Xander is going to be, like, big. It's going to surprise people how engaging Xander is when he wants to be.
Let's go.
We'll see.
Would watch.
Still waiting to
Yeah.
still waiting to see it.
Shout out
in.
to Avis, right?
You know, I want to issue a correction. I was pumping up the Avis.
Our first
Xander-
mea culpa of 2025.
Xander, I forget what it's called. Xander something. It's a docu-series that the PGA Tour was doing. I don't know. Pretty
work.
much just
Oh,
Avis
we were
spawned
going
con-
ham on the
Oh, yeah.
graphics. You got it. God, the graphics were so sick. What were we saying? It was like from a 90s golf channel.
Well, and it looks a little like I'm very bad at graphics as well. This is no judgment, but yeah, it's very Premiere Pro, just like exciting title number 6, and here it comes, like, swooping in, and it's just 50 fucking shots of Xander driving a Ford Escape around Jupiter, West Palm,
But
like strangling the steering wheel.
it's
at
like every
10-2.
beauty shot we've tried to get of a BMW in any video we've ever done, but it's like a red Ford Escape, like from like just outside, inside. Like, make sure you get that logo. It was great.
Xander Embedded is what it's called.
Embedded.
But the guy made, how much money did the guy make on the golf course last year?
A lot.
Like
20,
$30 million.
thought it was
20 million
Not
dollars
as
with
not
FedEx-
as, not
with
as
FedEx
much as
Cup
Big
stuff?
J. He didn't make as
Didn't
much as
win.
Big J.
I thought he made 20.
No, but Scotty made like 28 million. So Xander probably made.
No, Scotty made way whatever. We can take this offline. but
Steamboat J made more.
He made a lot
Oh,
more
yeah.
money.
Steamboat J
I'm
made
not
23.
buying that he's driving a Ford Escape around. Is what I'm saying. No offense to anybody. No offense to the
What
Ford
I'm saying
Escape.
is love is blind.
But I'm just not seeing it.
Embedded.
Xander Embedded. Check it out if you want. Speaking of big swings.
on Patrick Reed. Embedded. Remember Tori?
Stick my
Not if I
finger
stick my
in
finger in
there.
there. I don't know how else you're gonna feel it.
Speaking of big swings, there was a report this week from Gabby Herzig of The Athletic / the New York Times saying that the PGA Tour is possibly, maybe, sort of, kind of considering changes to the Tour Championship. This is from Gabby's report. The PGA Tour is in advanced discussions to revamp the Tour Championship format into a bracket-style event. According to people briefed on the matter, the championship, the culmination of the official PGA Tour season, and the 3-event FedEx Cup playoffs could be reimagined as early as this year,
Reimagined.
if ongoing conversations with player directors, TV partners, and corporate sponsors continue as planned. There was stuff in the story about how it could be a stroke play bracket or a match play bracket. How did this news catch you guys? TC, I'll start with you.
I was told this was the greatest format of all time. So why
Computers
would they
told
even
us that this is the
consider
optimal format.
It's cool to see the
changing
PGA Tour taking a page out of the Trap Draws book. They're monitoring.
What if we?
They are monitoring
Concepts of a plan.
They're thinking maybe
Now,
we could
guys,
monitor
question
this.
for you. The season started this week.
Right.
Can you change the format in season?
That's so messed up. Like seriously.
It's like, all right, like we're going to a 9-game series for the NBA Finals this year.
Yeah, this team looks like it's gonna be too good. Let's shorten this to a 3-game series.
And you know what? The winner of the NBA Cup gets two first round, gets a first and second round bye. You know.
But all that said, I do want him to do this.
Yes.
So I don't want to talk too much shit about it. How did you guys have any thoughts on this?
It had me thinking of like, all right, if we start planning ideas now, what are they going to do in 2035? I mean, we've been talking about this for how many years? Like literally since the beginning of this pod of like, yeah, change the finale. And I mean, it's so freaking late to do it. It's just like all the things that they refused to change when it was obvious a long time ago that
Everything is on the table, though, Solid.
yeah, I hope, sure.
Fan first.
Again, there's a lot of bigger problems to solve. So I'm not like jumping through the, out the window with excitement here. I'm getting really tired. Sorry. But
But
it's
out
good.
the window with
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe right now.
It's a mix of metaphors, baby.
It's good news, I guess, but I don't know. We'll see if they come through.
DJ, was this a creator council thing?
Creator Council might just
Fly
start
the banner?
taking responsibility for all these ideas. Hideki shooting however many under this week.
Creator Council.
That was us. Think of the ratings in Japan, man. That was huge.
See that drone out there?
That was us. Xander embedded. That was not us. We told him not to do that.
Drones in New Jersey. That's us.
Maybe we'll see how it goes. Stay tuned.
TGL, if it's good, that was us.
That was us, man.
Come on, we've been saying that forever. Screen golf. It's the future.
Oh God. I'm in on the bracket style.
Yeah, of course, it's
Bracket
great.
style.
Yeah,
tour
match play
championship.
would be
We've
sweet.
said-
Match play with some true stakes.
Yeah.
Like the people
Yeah.
when they care. That's half the reason the Ryder Cup does well.
It's hard to get excited about something that's like, fuck, duh. Like, of course, this has to end this way. And we were told for so many years why it can't. And if they end up doing it, then it's just like, well, all right, now let's talk about contracts. Because for how many years you've told us you can't change all this because of contracts, but couldn't change this thing because of this. Now
Not only
is that back on the table?
Not only did you change it, but you changed it in season.
Like they've had like 4 policy board meetings over the last 3 months too. Like it's not like they couldn't just, have tackled this at any point. But I mean, and then there's
Hideki
going to be
should
the
raise such a
inevitable, like,
stink.
all right,
Yeah.
the Final Four is going to be like Max Grazerman,
No,
Go ahead.
No
Shit
offense
out-
to
shit out
anyone.
some people.
Come
Go
on.
ahead.
yeah,
Dogecoin.
no, like guys that like diehards like, but then it's like, oh well, you know what? Like, yeah, it's like it was like the
Kevin Sutherland.
Kevin
the
Sutherland.
Kevin Sutherland year out at Omni La Costa, right? Or in Carlsbad.
Sutherland's got it.
Who would you give buys to? Like, how many buys would you do?
Yeah, so that was another part of the story is that basically you give buys based on FedEx Cup, which is again just like common sense. That sounds great, right? Reward these guys for a good season. Give them a buy.
If you win a
first 2 rounds
national
if
open,
you want. I
you
don't
should get a
care.
buy.
How could you? I'd have to look at could you do like a 16 teamer where the top 4 get 2 double buys? Like,
You
I
know
have
what
to
I
look
think
at
would
it,
be
but figure
it
sick
out.
is
That'd
if
be
you
sick.
gave like everybody got like the top 16 got a first round buy, and the top 4 or something or the top 8 got to play from different tees on certain holes.
In on that. Or they can play
or they'll
bogey golf.
handicap it. They'll start 2 shots.
Yeah, they
up.
start 2 shots ahead. God. Oh man.
This is when we get in trouble. You start overcomplicating.
We can't
it.
just have a
That's the
regular
current
match
problem.
play golf tournament.
No,
can we?
exactly. Also, just real quick, shout out to Gabby. Also, Gabby's been writing all kinds of great stuff.
Amen.
She's made an appearance on this podcast recently, and she's been a ray of light in the game of golf. Love seeing new young reporters out there. That's great.
PGA Tour U is also changing. We can cover that in a future episode.
It sounds like a great Sony week
That does.
topic.
Anything else
for the diehards?
Well, what else?
I'll handle that next week.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anything on the personal golf
I'll
front?
be there. Don't worry.
Oh, you are.
So you kind of met. You
I
covered
stepped
yours
all over it
earlier,
yeah.
but
I got
good to see you back on the golf course. Neil, we're gonna play some golf this week. You hitting the simmies? Where
We
are you at?
No, haven't played too much lately. I had to get those 500 miles in. So
yeah, how'd that go?
I got 501.2. I had a 500-mile cardio goal, and I had to
Unbelievable.
78 miles in December. We had to hit the afterburners.
Can I say Cody's goal? Cody, I don't know if you want to come in and talk about this or not.
Cody absolutely mopped.
Cody's goal was 500 miles, and what did you run? 806 or 817 or something like
Yeah,
that.
he hit 500 miles in August.
Cody lost 50 pounds last year, and he's giving himself a grade on the goals podcast. He's like, I don't know, I think I get like a C+. I'm like, yeah, I think that's probably at least an A minus.
Yeah,
92.
Shout out to Cody. But no, I'm very happy that I hit that goal because there he is, Cody.
There's what's left of him. Yeah,
We can't see.
Can't
He's actually
see him.
on the screen right now. We lost so much weight that
He's looking gaunt.
Exactly.
No, I'm just happy. It's always nice. It's binary. You either hit it or you don't.
Yeah.
So I went for a 4-mile run on New Year's Eve.
People just cheering in the streets while
No,
Zard,
my Uncle Mills came with me. Like just a 4-mile run up the Brooklyn Promenade, just kind of a celebration.
That's good stuff.
good stuff.
I love it.
I got a question for.
There
Did
he
we
is.
learn anything about procrastinating, Neil?
Well, listen, life gets in the way sometimes.
Of course.
I got it. You know what? I got within striking distance, and then it's like, hey, you either got it or you don't. You're either gonna do this or you're not. And we, Christmas Eve, your boy's getting 4 miles in.
Oh,
Christmas
love it.
Day, your boy's getting 4 miles in. My in-laws were like, "What are you doing?" I'm
I'm
like,
sure
stop.
Carson loved that.
Nah. Once she sees I'm committed to it, she rolls her eyes for a while, and then she's like, by like the
They get into it.
last 3
on.
days of the
For
year,
sure.
she's like, "Well, you got it.
Go do it.
Did you get your workout in yet?
Cody, what
What are
was
you waiting for?"
your official number?
807.
Jeez.
You gonna run
Beast
it back
mode.
next year?
I am 500 again this year. I'm already 7 miles down right now, but I'm not going as crazy as I did last year. That was too
That's-
much.
That's a lot.
Yeah,
That's a
it's-
lot.
I've got,
And I followed
6 in the
Schuster.
can.
We invested in a elliptical, so I'm
Okay.
on that.
Oh, there you
right
go.
now.
You got to be kind to yourself. It's a lot easier on the knees.
Sure.
The running, you don't want to do something that you end up like
Yeah.
regretting. For
Yeah.
me, at least. But to your point, Deej, haven't played a ton of golf. I only brought the half set down.
wow.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, because I'm not really like dialed. I also had to make room for diapers in the travel case, so
That's a
I brought
good
like
idea. I should've
the
done that.
Sunday bag, and I just thought it allowed me to get artistic a little bit. So we're gonna go out and play Friday, I think.
Yeah.
And I'm fired up to hit some golf balls.
Cannot
So
wait.
stoked.
Cannot wait.
I have
TC,
no.
typically-
You guys kind of sprung this on it. We don't know what you guys are doing down there. Like, is this just a?
I don't know what
reunion
they're
week or
doing
what?
down here.
just
Well, it's
hanging.
kind of a vacation. I brought my wife and my son, and but yeah, get a little work done early in the week. TC, Cody, you guys are you're heading out of town on what,
Yeah.
Wednesday,
No, Thursday.
Way out of town.
Thursday afternoon.
way out of
yeah.
town.
Going to Argentina.
go south.
Don't cry
young
for
man.
us.
Yeah, you're flying south.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
TJ
For real this time.
TC had the waffle sweats. We're gonna have the meat sweats so bad.
Oh my
For
god!
sure.
So went there on my honeymoon. You're gonna be real sick of lamb, beef,
Mm.
Yeah.
tomatoes,
Guys,
greens, and onions. That's all they serve. That's it.
not
Maybe
there.
some potatoes.
Cocktails too, right?
Yeah, that's it. And good
Red
wine.
wine,
You're gonna like the
yeah,
wine, but
yeah.
like the menu doesn't change. They just open pits. They're just roasting the meats, man.
Asado, right?
Yes,
Love
big
it.
time.
I got a golf related question for TC. How's the stack coming?
Guys, so before we
For those watching on video, it is
I haven't
Unopened
gotten there
in
yet.
the box.
I
What's
haven't
in the box, TC?
you know what, guys? It's been golf season right now, and I'm not gonna, I played awful. I played on New Year's Eve, I think. Played awful. Like I went on Lagoon, I shot 83. It's like
Lagoon's hard.
it's like the
Weirdly
easiest
hard.
rated course I played all year. I don't think I broke 78 on that course this year. It's so
it's-
hard.
That's
So
it's a hard
tight.
course.
Yeah, played
Like his hips.
not good. But you know what? So once we hit March, yeah, I'm so sore from the Waffle House. So I got to work through that. I'm gonna go
Could've
swimming.
set you
I'm gonna
back
go swimming
years.
this year. Yeah, I know. I'd been making progress in my TPI stuff until the holidays kind of threw a wrench
Sure.
into things over the last. The kids go back to school tomorrow. You feel me, Cody?
Mine don't. Wednesday actually. It's tough.
no, I
We
We're
got a couple of
absolutely
those teacher
still in
planning
it.
days or something.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
horrible.
Oh,
How about you?
Yeah, I'm in the off season. It's cold. It's cold up there.
Yeah.
Not playing a lot of golf.
We're looking for a honeymoon phase on Friday.
Exactly. Haven't gotten to the simulator, but I've been doing a lot of like pre-work. I'm getting ready. I'm working on a video right now. I think you guys are gonna like.
Yes.
we're we've done these Serve Pro videos throughout the year, kind of game improvement stuff.
I've got one coming out this week.
We got one coming out
Yeah.
this week. Cody did one earlier in the year with the Altus guys. Ben did a great one in Kansas City. Neil did a great one with John Sherman. So I'm going to be doing one. I'm going to be working on like how to put together a winter practice plan. So I'll be talking to Sasha from the Stack. I talked to our guy Nico Darris this week from Golf Blueprint about how to put together like a simulator practice plan, because that's Neil, I don't know if you feel me on this, but you go to the simulator all the time. I show up, I'm like, should I like play 9 holes? Like I'm not,
No, you should.
I'm not actually playing. So then I'm like, should I just like go to the range? Like
Sherman and I talked about
the
this.
simulator range and just like
drill. The
beat
answer should
balls.
probably drill.
Right. So
And
that's
wedges. Work on
exactly.
the like clock system.
That's exactly what I'm working on. So
Have you
Nico's got
seen Alex Noren swing?
That's exactly.
That's what you need to
Exactly.
grind.
Yeah.
That's what you should be doing.
So that's Nico's putting together a practice plan for me. So anyways, I'm compiling all this into a video along with like TPI stuff, some other things that I can do during the cold weather. So I'm at the base of the mountain, but I see a good path forward.
Can I put a quick shout out to a tip? I always see Bryson talking about this on Instagram, and I kind of just put it into play that round I played. He always talks about like taking the club back and just the feeling of just dropping your hands, like dropping it
That's the
straight down.
Sergio thing.
Right
Pull
in
the
your
chain.
pocket.
Just
Pull-
drop
yeah.
it down and then rotate.
Yeah.
That's all I did, and I was absolutely freaking pure in it the
Shout
other
out
day.
to Bryson,
and
the ultimate creator.
He is.
He,
He's a
he
content
might
creator.
be, man. He really might be.
That one might. It'll stick for me for at least a week until I change my swing feel.
We need to have the found it counter.
Yeah, I was gonna
Found
say,
it.
is
No,
Solly,
not that found
Is he
it.
back?
So-
no,
he's
is
back.
Solly back? We need to
For
alert
sure.
the Twitter account.
We already got one.
It was
today.
such a I mean, everyone knows that first round back, like no expectation rounds, you play great. But when you've done it as many times as I have, where you actually have expectations because you have no expectations, and then you actually play even better than you possibly could have imagined,
So
was
few expectations.
so
and my expectations are so high.
unreal. I could not even fathom it. But I probably will shoot
So
85.
so is he back?
Oh, for sure.
Sounds
Okay.
like
I finished the year at
Alert
plus
him.
1.9.
I mean, was it?
I'm
Just,
I'm 0.1 away from the goal +2.
was that just? Where does that rank on just like most joyous rounds of golf? You've been just going through it at the house, getting out into the sunshine, playing good golf. I mean, that's got to be like as good as it gets.
It's been bad. It was bad weather up until like that afternoon, and I kept waiting for whatever the thing that was going to happen at home that was going to make me have to cancel, and it didn't. Played with a neighbor of mine, Gil.
I met Gil on Halloween.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Gil's the man.
He was cool.
We had an awesome. It truly like I can see. Again, one of my goals for 24 is like make.
Gil texted me. I think the day you guys were playing, he was like, "Hey, I got a spot at Atlantic Beach.
Oh,
You
no
want to
way.
play?"
I was like have a better relationship with the game of golf, and I feel like I achieved that. I have no option for that in 2025. Like it really is just going to appreciate every single day you get out because it's a lot of work.
I will say we were trying to figure out when we were going to play. So we're going to play Friday. Solly sent DJ and a text. He's like, "Yeah, it's just not golf weather." The
It's
whole
a high of
week.
like
I look at the weather.
58.
It's like, yeah, it's like
It was-
between 45 and like 65 degrees. I'm like, what?
No, the forecast changed because it was
Are you
good.
serious?
Yeah.
It was going
supposed
to be
colder.
It was not going to be above 40 Friday morning at all, and that you don't do that in Florida. Like I
You
just
don't
don't.
do that.
I'm serious.
The last round of golf I played was like, it was like 31 when we teed off.
But I would do that up north. You
Just
do not
don't
do
do
that
that.
down here. It's
You
Florida.
do
cold.
if you're only down here for a week.
Yeah,
you would not
I would have
have
played
enjoyed
I
without
don't think
you.
you can do it on Bermuda. Like it'll
Maybe they
get
just won't let you.
rains. Yeah. What was I gonna say? But yeah, tell Sasha. Perhaps I will meet him in the Stack soon. Okay, I'm down
I'll tell him.
getting there.
I prefer to be alone tonight. Perhaps later I'll meet your friend Dom.
God, if anybody gets that one, that's congratulations.
Was that
DJ,
Beverly
know-
Hills
Beverly
Ninja, I
Hills
believe.
Ninja.
Dude, just like Sully's golf game, I'm so fired up for Gary Williams to be back on TV tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock.
That's right.
I think when they go
Hell
live,
yeah.
5 clubs on Golf Channel. I'm pumped to actually have morning golf content on the channel. And Gary's he was perfect for that back then. I'm so happy that he's getting another crack at it.
Here. Yeah, we talked about that a couple weeks ago too. Just a good kind of full circle for a guy that's gone through it a little bit and battled some demons and seems to be in a great place and
Yeah.
has kind of earned his way back to a great spot on Golf Channel. So pumped for Gary. A couple other little kind of updates, nuggets from the world of golf. Couple losses in the world of golf over the last couple of weeks. Steve DeMeglio, a lot of people probably saw it, long time columnist, reporter for USA Today, a guy you would see every time you ever travel to a
Every
PGA Tour
time
event.
I've ever been in a press media center.
Yep.
You saw that guy.
Yeah, just kind of one of the guys that I surely would not pretend to have known him very well or anything, but just a guy that, you know, a comforting guy to see, you know, is just part of the furniture, part of the aesthetic of covering a PGA Tour event. See him in every press conference, see him in every media center. Tons of mannerisms that have been written about. Bamberger wrote about him, Shackelford wrote about him in great ways. And just kind of a character, man, just a guy that was always kind of fun to see out there. But I don't know if anybody else had any
throwback
with him. Yeah.
And always just smoking that cig outside the media center like a
How
true
you doing, big guy?
throwback. Yeah.
I don't know if he ever knew my name. He'd call me big guy all the
That's
time.
exactly.
Always
The
appreciate
KGV said he called him Keith for 5 years, but it was like a term of endearment at the towards the
How you
end.
doing, big guy? That's
So-
so good.
Yeah.
And then Scott Stewart. I know that one probably hits a lot closer to home.
Yeah, Scott was a Scottish golfer. He reached out probably 2 years ago via email. He was diagnosed with MND, which is like ALS. I think back 2020 or 2021. And I've never I don't know, over the last couple of years, I've got to know him pretty well via email and FaceTime. And I was actually supposed to meet up with him at Troon this year, and it got too cold for him to be out there. Like he was in a scooter or a wheelchair at that point. So didn't get to meet him in person, but just someone who, like, he got married, he had a kid. I think he retired from golf as a plus handicap, and just he lived life to the very end and as fully as he could possibly do it. And he was raising money for the My Name's Dottie Foundation, and I believe a foundation he set up as well towards the very end, and I mean really up until a day or two before he died. And it went quick, but he kind of, and he shared it, like he was out front on Instagram of, hey, I can't walk anymore, or my wife is feeding me, or that sort of thing. So it was both heartbreaking to see it in real time and to see him fight through this, but also like, every morning I would get a message from him, and it was always the most optimistic, grateful, like thankful, just, hey, I've got another day on earth kind of thing.
Yeah.
So great guy, and sad he's gone, and condolences to his family. There was a great thing that the DP World Tour did at the Scottish Open this year with Robert McIntyre and a couple other guys.
I was just a part of a couple of emails with him back and forth that we're probably all on. But if I was ever going through anything what he was going through, I would probably carry myself with 1/1000th of the grace and that he carried himself through, and the shining light he was through what had to be just a horrible, horrible battle. So rest in peace, Scott.
Here. Well said. I think that's going to kind of do it, guys. I don't mean to end on a dour note, but a tribute to a couple people that are very worthy of a tribute.
Can I say this has been fucking awesome to have you guys down here? This
Yeah.
is like old time.
I'm
Like,
excited,
this is-
man. I know.
Guy, listen,
Oh,
there's
I
a
mean,
certain
Cody, it was
vibe
just
when you
like
get
old
people
times.
together.
It
Come
took us a while
on.
to get the tech working.
did.
It's a little
Just
more
like old
complicated.
times.
It's a little easier to do it
All these
scattered.
computer
sure.
Well, I usually, when we travel to do this stuff, you guys have me there with you too. So it's one of those things.
Well, this was a true throwback back in the Killhouse.
You
Like,
guys
oh,
were
yeah, is it-
battling, got it
Have
done.
you tried unplugging it and plugging it back in?
Well,
Truly.
listen. We've referenced the trap draw about it 35 times on this podcast, but we talked about the year of the product. Making the product first and foremost. What are we
Physical.
What are we
product.
doing? How can we make it as good as possible? And that's part of this, right? Like let's get together. We're getting together at Pebble. We'll be doing it again. We'll be getting together at the PGA. Look for some more spots, man. We're taping a bunch more pods.
We're trying to
this
pick,
week while
trying
we're
to pick
here.
our spots.
Exactly.
Spring training.
So,
Can we get one of those on the calendar, please?
Maybe this is a yearly, like an annual tradition.
I don't know.
We've got to
I
let
love
the
it.
family down here.
I love
in
it.
January. Yeah.
Or we could go to Hawaii.
Yeah.
Oh, we could do that.
And maybe
too.
you can move here, Neil.
Hey, tell me.
We already talked about that.
Maybe we could.
Anyway, guys, we do have a full week coming up. We mentioned the trap draw. The ball knowers are back. We're breaking
We
down everything going
Are the
on.
ball knowers?
Are the ball knowers back or the ball knowers dead?
Is anyone
my
calling
God.
for
I
the
think
ball
the ball
knowers
knowers
heads?
died like dogs this year.
They're very much dead.
Wow.
I will say they're
Bad
recording.
takes.
They are recording this week, so that's what you're gonna have over on the trap.
We will answer.
Wow.
We will answer to the haters this week.
So
Mhm.
much vitriol.
God.
Hey,
That was a lot.
He's on his honeymoon. Like he's not even here. You know.
I mean, the Eagles takes, there's Niners. I mean, it's just a
Yeah,
tough season.
we're
for you
not
guys.
wrong on the Eagles takes.
Just early.
Yeah, you're only
13-3?
wrong. The Chiefs were not a contender.
13-3. The
Buck
Chiefs.
Tech.
It's just been
I'm
tough.
living on a knife's edge right now.
It's been tough, man.
I'm hanging out with the giraffes in the zoo. All right.
TC's playing the who's not going to win game. It's close.
Outside of that, the Tuesday episode for this here podcast is going to be TGL reaction show, and we're kind of up in the air still. I'm going to make the big play tomorrow at our morning meeting. I want to do it live. Now I know people have said something other it, but I think we go live Tuesday night. Let's
do it.
Let's break it out.
Why
So
not?
we're right back here
Drop
Tuesday
live
night.
in the
Come
chat
on.
if you want
We
us
won't,
live.
we won't touch anything. We won't.
All right.
We'll just try to
And-
leave it all set up here.
And guys, some new content to ring in this new year. TC, we're debuting a new kind of ish. I don't know how do you describe these new episodes we have coming out on the No Laying Up podcast channel?
Eclectic,
Yeah.
maybe. Yeah, we hopped on with.
Listen, there's straight up. There's gonna be some people that don't like this episode, and that's fine.
And that's fine.
And that's fine. Go ahead. Yeah, sorry. This was
Should we talk about it?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, so we just wanted to talk about the food on tour. It's more of like a trap draw than it is a No Laying Up podcast. We talked about the food on tour with Keith Mitchell for like almost 2 hours.
and where it's
Sounds like he was stunting on you guys.
I've never
Oh,
seen a
crazy.
guest more prepared, truly, for a podcast interview. It was like
more than Clarkson.
it was like some of these presidential candidates like going on all these podcasts and having all their talking points dialed. It was like so we've interviewed Keith about golf and what are you doing with your swing and what do you think about this and what's up with the pack 35 times. It's like, well, let's talk to him about something a little different. And it was originally going to be Keith and Joel Damon. Joel bailed like an hour before, so we could maybe do another one with him later. But
He was playing in a pro member somewhere.
Keith, I'm convinced like enjoys food and just life more than he likes golf. And he hopped on and was just like, we're like, all right, man, let's start with let's start with Kapalua. Like, where do you like to eat? And he's like, oh, well, of course, like you go here on Mondays and then Tuesdays, you go here. Wednesdays, I think we usually eat at home. Thursdays, there's a great dinner party. We always go here. You got to have the sashimi there. The chef, Brian, that makes it's unbelievable. And we're like, whoa, okay. Well, how many times you played that event? He's like, well, just once.
Talking about like marlin sashimi.
Yeah,
some sort of sport fish.
And so we're
sashimi.
just bouncing all over the
Lit up
tour
the
calendar.
Valspar.
Yeah, player dining. I think I don't know if
They
Tracy
said it was
West is still the
prison
tournament
food.
director, but she's
Prison
gonna
food?
have a printout on her desk Monday morning. I'm pretty sure.
Jesus.
Yeah, he's like, man, I'm speaking up for the fellow players. Like, if anyone disagrees, please come talk to me.
I'm about to cut that one out as the social reel.
Yeah. And then he's going off. I mean, he lives on St. Simon, so he's going off about Southern Soul, and he's rattling off the specials every day, like in elaborate
He has them
detail.
memorized.
Mondays this, Tuesdays this, Wednesdays
Well, Tuesdays are closed.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's a pod. If you're a business traveler, if you're a worldly person, you're looking for restaurants and where should I go when next time I have a conference in Columbus or Hilton Head or Jacksonville, or it's truly restaurant recommendations in every city the PGA Tour goes to.
And I think we can get multiple. Like, I want to get Joel on. I want to get ZB on. Like ZB and the Russian on at the same time. Like, get people like Bo Hostler sounds like he's
a coffee
a
maniac.
gourmand and a coffee maniac. Like, getting guys that disagree. You know what? I disagree with Keith. That's bullshit. This place is better.
I think what made it cool though, it was like, I don't think the podcast is turning into a food podcast necessarily, but it's like just getting these guys like talking about what they're fired up about other than golf it was very refreshing. It's like we could talk to him about how do you hit a 7-iron and what do you do when you're trying to hit a draw and all that stuff, which is great. And there's a great spot for that. But getting him talking about something just totally non-golf was invigorating.
But it still tethers back to golf because it was the whole like season schedule.
So you're the product.
I also realized after the fact we forgot to talk about the Canadian Open.
Oh.
They're getting lit up by the Canadians.
Very, very intentional.
Hey,
Guys,
I think
Toronto's
good
a
to
great
get-
food city.
Good to get out in front of that now,
I
though.
will say
that's
Toronto's
not
a great
gonna
food
go well.
city.
I think people are going to be way into that, and that'll be coming out not this week, next week. People will be on the
I think
lookout.
we're
This
calling
week,
those-
I'm
we're
actually
calling those
one.
the wild cards, Cody. To answer your earlier question, that's just
This
wild cards.
week,
Yeah.
I believe it's supposed to be golf courses you need to play in 2025, if I'm remembering correctly. So we got a lot of stuff
want to
going
play in
out.
25.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Making some content, baby.
Yeah.
That's right.
One other thing I want you guys to do this week. I want you guys to do a polar plunge. Get in the ocean.
Yeah, I brought my suit. We got a little pool at the Airbnb.
Maybe we'll do that.
I
Little
got
hot
in
tub
on
time
January
machine.
1st and swam around for
And go to the hot dog hut.
yeah, hot dog hut.
And on that note,
Cody, thanks for everything, dude. Jordan, thanks behind the scenes. Guys, great being with you. What
Great
a
being
thrill. And we will we'll see everybody
TC,
live
nice,
on Tuesday
nice
night.
garage, man. We
Yeah.
might have to
It's a great
take people on a tour.
Thank
It's
you.
you've done a lot with the place, and,
And
I like
you know
it.
what? I got AT&T fiber back here. Connecting changes everything.
Shout out.
We had,
Shout out to AT&T.
great bandwidth back
That's
here.
right. That's right. Cody, thanks, man. Cheers.
Cheers.
Crack on.